Hello and welcome back to another LEGO Transformer review. In today's video, I'll be reviewing my custom LEGO Transformer, Mower. And if it isn't obvious already, this guy is based on a lawnmower. And in my opinion, I think I've done a pretty good job with the alt mode, and you can see it here from the side. So I've included details such as the engine, the handle, and as well as the place where the grass is stored. And in my opinion, the proportions of this lawnmower are actually quite good. And it is very similar to the lawnmower that we have in real life. And you can see the engine here from the front. Unfortunately, there's no blade underneath, just due to the way he transforms. And here's a picture of the lawnmower this guy's based on. And in my opinion, I've done quite a good job replicating it, even if the proportions are slightly off. So here he is with the Jeep Bumblebee for a comparison, and unfortunately this guy is definitely out of scale. And here he is with SS86 Blur. And maybe he is in scale there, because who knows the scale of a fictional space car. And here he is with a Speed Champion set, as well as a Marvel Legends figure, which the scale here is actually not that bad, but it is probably slightly too large. And obviously here he is with a minifigure, which is vastly out of scale with. But if this was the size of a lawnmower in the LEGO universe, I'm sure a lot of things like this would happen. So getting started with the transformation, we take these clips at the top of the handle, untab them and spread them out to the side. Now, on the first joint, we can take this whole engine assembly and fold it up. And then on the second joint, we can fold it back down again, sort of like a double hinge. So it should look like this. And now to give clearance for the feet transformation, we can take the legs and rotate them out to the side on the ball joint. Now we can rotate around the foot assemblies on these hinges. And using this stud connection, and using the hinge joint, we can fold around the feet. So it should look like that. Now, coming to the side, using the series of hinges there, we can fold up the engine piece, and it should look like that. Now we can take these parts of the side of the engine and fold them out, as they're on these hinges. Now for the arm transformation, we can take these pieces of the handle and hinge them back up to where they were, but using the stud connection we can rotate them around. And now that the hinge joint is facing the correct way, we can compress it onto the back of the engine. And using those hinge joints, we can fold the arms to the side. And using the stud at the top, we can rotate them down, as well as fold out the elbow joints. So it should look something like that. And now for the head transformation. So, using the ball joint at the top of the grass bin, we can take this and rotate around this panel, which will unveil the head. And using that hinge joint, we can compress the grass bin into his back. And for the final step of the legs, we can take these side panels and compress them onto the wheels so the wheels won't rotate freely. And for the final step, we take these pieces on the engine and using the stud, we just swivel them down just to give him some more detail. And that is him in his robot mode. And I honestly quite like this guy. Even with the slightly strange proportions, his alt mode is a lawnmower. And here you can also see a sticker of his faction symbol on the back. So here's a close-up of the head, and even though it's a simple build, I do think it works quite well, as it does have to fit into the transformation, and I do like the way the chest turned out, as it is the centerpiece of the lawnmower, as well as here is the slight details that we folded out, and even the shoulders I think look quite good, even though the arms are slightly thin, but obviously they're made of the handle. And you can see on one arm he has 2 fingers, whereas on the other he has 3, just due to them having to clip together. I also do like the hip assembly, as even though it does limit articulation slightly, it looks good. And even though the feet are slightly wobbly, I think they work quite well for being stored inside the lawnmower, since they kind of just flip out, so you don't actually see them before. And obviously there is his faction symbol again. So for some comparisons, so you can see how much this guy's mass shifted. So here he is with Siege Optimus Prime. So he is actually quite tall. And here he is with Studio Series Scourge, as well as a LEGO minifigure. And here he is with the LEGO Speed Champions car. So you can see he is actually quite big in his robot mode, but he does look quite cool. And I do think this guy could definitely work as one of those all-spark creations from the movie. And he does fit that aesthetic quite well. But anyways, that's my review for this guy. I'm not going to cover articulation because the Transformers 1 trailer just dropped and I'd like to get started on builds for that. But yeah, I do really like this guy, and I actually do enjoy flipping him back and forth, as none of the pieces like to fall off, and for a LEGO Transformer, the transformation is quite satisfying. And even though there was a vote for this week's build, I've decided to post this guy since this video was one of the shortest, and I like to work on the Transformer 1 builds. And at the time of recording, I'm almost finished the Optimus Prime. So if I manage to get that build finished and recorded by next week, then obviously that is a video I'm going to be posting. And for some quick thoughts on Transformers 1, I do think it looks quite good. But I'll probably cover my thoughts more on the actual Optimus Prime video. But for this guy, I think this build is actually one of my best. And if you want me to do more of these kind of all-spark creation bots using household objects, I'd definitely be down to do that. As I think this guy turned out quite good for what he is, and the all mode is actually very good in my opinion, as it definitely resembles the lawnmower that I was basing this off of. But anyways, have a great day, and I'll see everyone next week.